Hi everyone, today I'm going to do a quick demonstration on how to use SPA Markbook analysis. The first thing we need to do is make sure we have a cohort selected. So I'm going to go and select a cohort. Cohort I'm using is from one of the sample assessment tasks, so 9C in 2018. I'm going to SPA Markbook and analysis, and this is a pre and post test. So I'm going to filter using our filters at the top. And it was a Year 9 indices assessment. So I'm going to click on Analysis, and I'll select my pre and my post tests, and then I'll ask for to show my analysis. So what I can see on this very first Student Growth tab, I can look at my class data. So I can see my pre-test average was 23%, my post-test average was 45%, had an average growth of 23%, and an effect size of 1.37. And I can get that for each individual student as well, so it's not just the whole class. So some students go really well, some students don't go so well. So it's just an average. How did each student go, as well as their individual. You can change what you're looking at, so you can sort it by effect size, or you can sort it by growth, or you can even sort it by student name. So there's lots of different ways you can sort that, and you can also have it listed in a table, whichever you prefer to look at. In item improvement, we're now looking at the question. So we're looking at the actual question that was assessed. So I want to know, if I just hover over it, it tells me what the question is and what the skill we're looking at. So it tells me the pre-test. Sorry, I've just turned on improvement there. So it tells me my pre-test, my post-test, and the improvement percentage points. So I can turn it on for pre, post, and I can sort it. This is good for looking at which questions they do well at before, which questions they do not so well at. So here, all of my students know how to label, know what the base index is in all the questions. On this topic, this question here, so it's one of my highest growth questions, question 9. So at the start of the test, only 43% new, and at the end, 87% new. And then you get down to the bottom where you start getting very, very few. So this is a pretty good example of a multiple entry and multiple exit assessment. Almost everyone at the start is able to access something, and by the end, everyone is able to access something. And down here, we actually get to the point where there's only one student left doing it at the end, getting everything right at the end. Then we can look at our ZPD. So this is the pre-ZPD, where it's blank. A student has not even entered a question. Sorry, I couldn't think of the right word. I'm just zooming out a little bit so you can see everything fully. So you can have it show you pre, the post, or both combined. You can also have it sort by skill. This assessment task didn't actually have skills in. Skills wasn't available at this point when this was created, and same with levels. But normally you can show by skill and also by level. And you can set your orders. So you can see here, everyone was able to access something except one student. But then over on the post, everyone has gone up. So you can see really good growth within this topic, as you would expect based on the item analysis. And if we want to look at the diagnostic analysis, so you can now look at question by question. What was it out of, and what was the average score? So you can see how did the class go on each individual question, just in a quick snapshot, quick glance. So you've got pre and post. So that's information you can get from looking at assessment task results. When you look at a rubric, it is pretty much identical to this. Obviously, it's not going to have the skill and the level because that information is only listed in the pre and post test. It's not part of the rubric. We will actually look at rubric. I've got a rubric with this exact same class. So again, we still have our overall growth, student growth chart. We have our item analysis, so on each rubric point, how did they go? ZPD. The ZPD is obviously much smaller because there's only this had 6 different criterion, but each criterion had multiple indicators, and we can look at both. As you can see in this assessment, didn't actually go high enough for our top student, and some of our bottom students actually really struggle to access this task. And then we still have our indicators. We still have our diagnostic analysis that we can look at from as before. So they still show very similar things, depending on which one you're wanting to look at.